No, don't need help. I'll ask him for her name.
I have zero problem balancing.
Because you didn't use this.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Oh, my battery's down.
Having a difficult time doing that. I would just encourage you, if it's necessary for you to have a conversation, to ask for a pass, go outside, have the conversation, and then come back into your seats. If you could please do that, if you get a phone call or whatever, all right? Otherwise, please turn off your phones, cancel your cell phones, whatever, and then so the neighbor next to you can actually hear. Okay?
Thank you. But this is this time. Are we ready?
So we're going to dive in, quickly introduce ourselves, and then get right into the content. So starting right over there.
Hello, hello, hello. My name is Steve Evans, and I'm design director for Star Wars. I'm Steve Bono. I'm principal designer on Black Series.
My name is Patrick Schneider. I'm senior brand manager on our Black Series and Vintage lines.
Hello, I'm Joe Ginnivalci, marketing director on Star Wars.
Sarah Carroll, Star Wars marketing for Hasbro.
Hello, I'm Chris Burnham. I'm Jedi Knight for Lucasfilm.
And I'm Mason Fisk, senior designer on the Lucasfilm PD team.
All right. So this is the first time we've actually been with you guys since this happened. So if you'll indulge me for 1 second. Oh my God, we did it! So, I mean, we don't know where to start. We've all issued praise and thanks to you, but you know, you guys did this. You know, this was a huge leap of faith, and to see the community come together and evangelize this and get behind it and back it and make it such a huge thing. You know, we were like, threshold of 5,000, hopefully we make it, and you let us blow past that, and this is a reality. This is going to be produced after 40 years. We're finally going to have a katana. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. If it wouldn't be too time-consuming and weird, I would come out and hug every one of you, but thank you.
And there she is in all her glory. Emotional roller coaster, right? I don't know how many of you backed the barge. Hands up if you did. Oh, wow! Thank you so very much. It was an amazing adventure, a really incredible story. Chris, pretty unprecedented, right? Like, tell us what it was like for you guys over there.
It was super simple. It was really easy, smooth sailing the whole time that we went into this.
Smooth sailing.
I thought about that one just for this. No, it was quite a challenge. We really wanted to make sure we could capture the utmost detail, just really go into it, go back into the archives, look and see and capture everything for this at this scale. And it is incredible. It is simply amazing the detail which this team captured and went into in Mark, that just every little nook and cranny is filled with something magical and awesome. It tells a great story. It is the deco. The deco is incredible.
There's a lot of it. And you know, Joe mentioned it's like 40 years in the waiting, and this is a very generational thing. You know, I'm seeing loads of people out there who are my age, I'm pretty old, and the youngsters as well. So like, in terms of 3 3/4 inch collectors, I know there's a lot of guys and girls who are my age and younger, but do we have any younger kind of collectors that collect 3 3/4 inch figures? Hands up in the air. Super young. I think that's So we all back the barge. Yeah, we get it for free. And I'm sure those of you who back the barge, you know what one of these looks like. Yes, this is like, oh. I'll choose you because you're right there. I would actually like to give you this book because like it's like a special thing. There you go. And because I feel so goosey and so loosey, that's another British thing, I'm actually going to give you the barge as well. I'm going to give you my personal copy of the barge. I'm going to give you this card, you give it to your mum, alright? And you contact that person there, and when the barge comes in, I'm going to send it direct to you wherever you live, alright?
Come for the $700 worth of free toys instead of the reveal.
Be in front next year is the moral of the story.
All right, okay. What's next?
Convention exclusives.
All right. So we're going to kick it off with our first one. We've got Chewbacca in all his fluffy glory, and the 2 porgs and porglets that are fully flocked. So this is one of our favorite items. Who out here loves porgs? Woo! Awesome. So this actually is sold out. So thank you guys who have purchased this.
I didn't get one yet.
It's in the mail, Chris.
There will be some available on Hasbro Toy Shop as we do later on, but it's sold out for the convention. So don't worry, Chris, we got you.
Awesome.
The block sports are amazing.
So going through the rest of them, we'll go through these quickly because we got a lot of great content. We just wanted to show them to you. So this, as you know, Dr. Afra comic book set, first vintage convention exclusive in many years. Super excited about that. As you know, last year at Celebration, we announced the return of vintage, had a fan vote, Dr. Afra won. We wanted to celebrate that by early releasing her here at Comic-Con, along with those 2 wonderful comic book droids. She goes nowhere without those. We aren't calling those exclusive. We have no current plans to release them in mainline, but never say never. So maybe in the future you'll see them. But right now, only place to get them is down at the Hasbro Toy Shop booth. So that's that wonderful item. Next up, obviously 2018, the year of Han Solo. So we wanted to celebrate that by doing the most iconic Han that we had not done yet, which is this one, F5 Bespin. Also a great way to get that Minot creature into the line. So great Han Solo item right there. And then finally, this item right here, I know, super cool, yeah. Go down and get it. This is literally, this is our biggest convention exclusive we've ever done. So it has that Rey centerpiece that's an early release. That'll be out in mainline later, celebrating that moment where she reaches out her hands and battles Kylo Ren. But this one is also chocker-box full of exclusive features. So it's got that battle-ravaged Kylo Ren exclusive base. It has a light-up acrylic backdrop. And also because Centerpiece is all about creating these realistic environments, it has a misting feature that my friend Steve is going to tell us all about.
Yeah, so you may not know.
Oh, yeah.
So you can see that that sort of orange glow created at the bottom of the base is created with some properly placed LEDs to really create that scene where the Earth starts to break apart in Starkiller Base. And then to really further enhance the scene, we added a sort of piezo water mister. So there's a little reservoir in there you fill it with water, and then it puffs out little puffs of mist and vapor. It really recreates the destruction of Starkiller Base as that battle happens.
Fantastic. Alrighty, more to come. Look at that beautiful clip art picture of the world. So, very no expensive. Wrong movie. Yeah. So, to this point, all of our convention exclusives have launched in the US. No more. We know that we have passionate fans around the world, so this year, for the very first time, we're not announcing what it is, but we are announcing that we will be launching a convention exclusive in Europe. So stay tuned to our friends from Europe. They'll be announcing it later this fall, and I guess all the US fans will have to try to figure out how to get that one. We'll make it available, don't worry. So more to come on convention exclusives. All right, Barge, convention exclusives, great, but we are all here to see some reveals, right? Yeah! So Sarah is going to kick us off.
All right, so...
I'm sorry.
Story of my life.
Yeah, leaks all over the place.
All right, so we're going to start off with Microforce. So some of this has actually been revealed, but we wanted to make sure, just in case you hadn't seen it, we would bring it here today. So Microforce is our great little collectible expression. We've got blind bags out now. You can get 2 in a blind bag. They're really fun. We have some new waves coming out later this year, Series 5 and Series 6, so you can expand your collection. And we thought with these great figures that we should expand the offering as well and bring some vehicles to the line. So when we think about how we create something like this, the expressions, we work really closely with Lucasfilm. And Mason, do you want to talk a little bit about how we do that?
Yeah, sure. So for Microforce, for the vehicles, and obviously this is a new expression that we haven't done before, and we really wanted to emulate the essence of the figures into the vehicles. So thinking about that, disproportionate, angular, chiseled aesthetic, but still thinking about that, that little cute factor, which is not a word we toss around too often around here.
Epically cute?
There you go.
Maybe?
Maybe. All right. So this was of course, it's some back and forth with the design team at Hasbro to get these to a point of where they're at here, but I just have to say, which is actually not revealed here, and it's not actually shown down in the booth, is that each one has a sort of secondary Easter egg play feature to them. So I would just say my favorite is actually with Rey. So if you're able to get your hands on that item and get yourself a BB-8 figure, that little Easter egg is a nice little touch. So I think that's it for Microforce, I believe.
All right. All right, so Mighty Nuns as well. We had some reveals yesterday. They're always fun. Great, another great collectible expression. And so we introduced Darth, Wicket, and Luke, as well as some of the other characters that you see up here, and they're going to be out later this year. So you can check out the reveals in our booth after the panel.
Great.
All right, so next up we have our 3 3/4 action figures. So one of the things that's great. So one of the things that's great about having the movie release earlier in the year is it gives us a chance to roll out more figures as the year goes on. So you can see some of the great solo characters here. And as we think about more and more characters, where are we going to put them?
I know. Anyone that knows...
What should we do?
Anyone that knows myself and the team know that for us, Star Wars is about incredible characters that go in really cool ships to incredible planets that battle each other to the death for good and evil. So in 2018, we wanted to bring some worlds back into line, some play sets. We wanted to do it very differently and in a way that everyone could play with it. So really trying something new. We're going to go old school. We're going to do big but affordable play sets. The one on the left is $30. The one on the right is $40. It's made up of new playboard material that we're inventing and kind of working with. It's really sturdy, great to play with, come with exclusive figures. So we're going to try this out with Walmart and Target. It's exclusive, see how it goes, but I'm really kind of confident that it's going to be really good. Great to play and great to display. Plastic, there's features in there. It's old school. There we go. So, all right, so happy about that.
Fantastic. Alrighty, let's get into Black Series, one of my 2 favorite fan lines. We are going to start off with, as you can see up there, some Force Effects lightsabers. Premium role play is a core part of our line, and as you know, in 2015 we kind of refreshed that expression by making them more movie accurate with an accelerometer in there that gave us more movie accurate sounds. I've seen some nodding heads. I love them. We have them down in the booth. Come and play with them. So we put out several between 2015 and 2017, but we hit pause this year, and that's because the next logical ones to do kind of made a little bit of sense in 2019. Can anyone guess why? What we'd be celebrating in 2019? Phantom Menace, exactly, the prequels. So starting off, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Episode 1. Very exciting. Oh, okay, we're jumping ahead. So Mace Windu. So obviously great sabers there. Fun fact about Mace Windu, his blade is actually amethyst. I learned that yesterday. Put that in the content. So let's say you're cosplaying, you have an F1 Obi-Wan Kenobi. Who do you want your friend to have? Maul, exactly. So we'll be doing Darth Maul, also in 2019. So as we've done it before, he'll have a connector piece. It'll be a single blade. You can buy two to have the full icon. Yeah, all right. Let's there we go. You can buy two, have the double-bladed one. So that is our Force Effects line for 2019. Steve, anything else?
I have noticed a certain amount of love for the prequels. I've been bombarded. Like, what are you doing, Hasbro? Where are the prequel stuff? It's very special to us as well. I mean, Stevie B here, he worked on Phantom Menace back in '99. '99 when I joined Hasbro, so it's kind of like drew me in. So we're not going to show you any Phantom Menace stuff or prequel stuff here, but keep an eye out for all those new conventions that we're seeing very, very closely, and you'll see some interesting reveals. And notice I use the word reveals in the plural. So lots and lots of really cool stuff coming for the prequels. But as Qui-Gon advises, we need to keep our concentration in the here and now. So let's talk about some stuff we can talk about. So it's an interesting time between Solo being in spring and us kind of running through the year. It allows us to get a little bit deeper in some of those more unusual characters that we saw in the movie. So we've got a couple to kind of show you. We saw the first one at the breakfast. Many of you might not have seen that. But believe when you watch Solo, you might have missed him, but that's never stopped you guys in sort of falling in love with characters. So just to reveal, we have our Imperial Patrol Trooper coming out. Really cool. I mean, Solo was great in terms of troopers and aliens, really funky design. But this funky design is not as cool as our next funky monkey from Solo, and that is our Rio. Really cool. Steve, you had the challenge of making the forearms. Tell us, was it enjoyable?
Fabulous. No, it really is a challenge to get this articulation down. You know, he's got 4 shoulder joints in that little torso, so we were able to really pull off some really great range of movement while maintaining that really cool look. So this guy has some awesome design, awesome detail, and you know, we were working off of a great reference from Lucasfilm. They actually give us, we see maquettes, we see images of the props and the costumes, and we're able to articulate this guy in a great way. So you can pose him out a lot compared to your average figure because he has so much articulation.
So there we have a couple more Solo figures. This guy's like on take some. So there's some more Solo figures coming. We haven't got them here, but there's more to come. But all right, okay, there's enough. I want to talk about Rebels. You guys give me a lot of trouble about Rebels. My goodness me. Rebels is off air, but again, this is this weird community we live in. This fandom. If it's gone, it's never forgotten. It actually gets more classic and more ingrained in our psyche and in our hearts. So you've been asking us to complete the Ghost Crew, right? Okay, come on, when are you going to do it? So front and center. Let's start off with our Ezra. Ezra Bridger, all right. So we're going to bring out Ezra. The big thing with Ezra is like long hair, short. Oh my God, I can't win. Anyway, so because the rest of them are all kind of pre-buzz cut Ezra, we thought we'd keep him with the long hair first. Okay, so he comes with his saber blaster and of course his Imperial Cadet helmet. Steve, something interesting on this one that you can tell us about?
Yeah, actually, our sculpting team was able to implement this in a number of figures, but this guy has a 3 ball-jointed neck, so you get a little extra articulation, some nice subtle posing for the neck and the head, and you'll see this in a number of figures, but it's a nice improvement and innovation to articulation for us.
You guys are always playing around with articulation, it's great. All right, so we, choices. Do we go big or do we go small? Do we go big or do we go small? Do we go big? Well, no, I'm going to show off. I'm going to go small, but in a big way. This is by far probably the team's favorite Black Series coming out soon, and it's our cheeky little chopper. And he's small, so how do we make him big? You're going to love this. Oh my God, I'm tingling already. This is such a great figure because, we did that as well. So Steve, why don't you explain all the components that go into this ridiculous figure?
Chopper, he's complex, so we've got a lot of articulation here that's really interesting and fun. So the arms in his head fold up into the dome of his head and are hidden when it's compact like that. The head is fully articulated. The little arm in the front pops out. all the legs have functional wheels, and then that center wheel pops out, of course, to then insert the the thruster. So the thruster can be removed from the base, but if you want to pose them out flying on a base, then we provide the base as well.
Insane. Yeah. Insane. Jeff.
Yeah, all right, so let's, so exclusives. I would say that 2018 is probably the best year for exclusives we've ever had, and it's only getting better. And again, that's a testament to you, because our retail partners, they see the fandom, they see what you're looking for, they want to get involved and be part of it, they appreciate it. And it lets us do more, it lets us do things with more ambition, and sort of things that don't necessarily fit into our typical line that you find, what we call mainline. So team's going to show you some great stuff. A lot of these things were actually sent out a few days ago. So you're all going to pretend you've never seen them.
Yeah, and really, really surprised. All right. So we're going to start off. We've got our Imperial Shock Trooper helmet coming. Great new deco addition. Talking of great helmets, let's split one open. So we are having Captain Phasma with photo real, one eye. All right. Like attention to detail. The next one, other than Chopper or before Chopper, probably the best figure that we've done in a long, long time, just from a fan point of view. Beers, General Beers, absolute stunning. Let's talk about a couple of ones that were just kind of released recently, but Steve can give a little bit more detail, and we'll go back to Solo, and we'll talk about Moloch.
Moloch, yes, really cool new alien creature from Solo. So. You know, the design here, this is a huge figure, so it takes up a lot of space, it takes up a lot of presence when you display it. One of the things I want to talk about is the incredible detail that some of the production designers and costume and prop guys, they put incredible detail into some of the props that you would never even notice. But so he's got a staff that when we zoomed in on the head of the staff, we saw that they had sculpted this sort of tortured souls kind of a thing with these bodies. And so what we did, our sculpting team actually sculpted a little guy, and they repeated him over and over and over and stretched him out over this structure when we sculpted this figure. The rumor is we heard that maybe one of the prop guys, his face is in there too somewhere. But, that's true. Princess Leia. So. We all love Leia, of course, and now that we were able to do our photoreal process, I mean, you can really appreciate, like, the sculpts were always excellent and really captured the likeness, but now that we can put the paint on and the deco and the printing to really match that sculpt, it looks just like her. So this is a different Leia head from the one that you may have seen in our booth, which is the Hoth Leia, which is coming out later, but this is the Bespin version. It's a different expression, different hair, and obviously different boots, so different figure.
Absolutely. All right, The Hunted. So we've revealed this figure already, so you don't have to act surprised. But as you know, there's an update on this one. We know that you guys want him. We want you to have him. He was originally slated for Toys R Us. We wanted to provide an update where and when you can get him. So as you can see, he will be at the Disney store, and the on-shelf date is November 1st. So we definitely wanted to just push that out and make sure you guys got that information. So that's The Hunted, but then there's also The Hunter.
Is Chris in the room?
No, he's not.
All right. But very handsome guy. So The Hunter, what do we mean by that? So obviously there's the thrill of the hunt. And we know that that's a great thing. That's a great part of collecting. We also know that there are some figures that are just too hard to find. Black Series has been around for 5 to 6 years, and we're doing great stuff now, obviously. Rebels, new entertainment, but those foundational figures of Star Wars, they were released 5, 6 years ago, and they're just very expensive on the aftermarket. So we wanted to solve that problem, so we're excited to announce a new line, the Black Series Archive. Oh, yes, absolutely. So this is a simple idea. Simple idea. We have figures in our vault. You want them. We want you to have them. So we're going to put them in this line. So each year we will release a tight group of 4 to 8 figures, something like that, and elevate them. Those are our greatest hits. Elevate them into our archive. They're timeless, right? These are the timeless figures. This is going to be a timeless collection. We want it to be timeless expression, so it's going to be on a beautiful blister card, also to keep those original releases special. So we're announcing 4 items today, starting with obviously that guy up there. Who could it be? Boba Fett, of course. Absolutely. You can't have a greatest hits line without Boba Fett. He was an easy choice. Now, obviously, we've been talking a lot about bounty hunters recently, right? We've got 4 LOM down in the booth. We have Dengar as well. We just talked about Zuckuss, Boba Fett. Who else do you think we might be bringing into the archive line? Boston IG-88. That's absolutely right. Yes. And IG-88. Absolutely. So basically, within a 4-month period at the end of this year, beginning of 2019, all of the bounty hunters will be available at retail for you to get. So you can complete your bounty hunter set. Yeah! So you can complete your bounty hunter set. You can also start it and then complete it at the same time, which is great. So we have one final one. I know, that's pretty funny. That's good. We just came up with that. Timeless expression, you can't have that without the very first Black Series figure we ever did, Luke Skywalker, X-Wing pilot. And if you had eagle eyes out there, do you notice anything about that Luke Skywalker? Maybe in the face area. It looks a little better. Photoreal deco. So our new photoreal deco technology will be applied to all of our archive figures with kind of humanoid faces. So even if you have them already, if you want to upgrade, feel free.
So all of you badgering me to, when are you going to put all the old stuff?
This is it. Here we go.
All right.
So that's Black Series on the Vintage Collection.
All right. Vintage Collection. Okay. It's funny, every time we're in the office, we decide we're going to do that in Vintage, and for some reason we just hear, so Vintage, we've shown most of 2018. There's a little bit left over that we want to show you, but again, we're so thrilled that Vintage is back, and we've got lots of great plans for it. We're going to get into a couple of stragglers for 2018, and then a hint of 19. So, Empress Nest, she's a phenomenal figure, as you can see. If you were lucky enough to come to our breakfast the other day, you had to see her in person. If not, I apologize. I accidentally packed her and sent her back to Rhode Island. So she is somewhere over the country on her swoop bike. Over there. I'm sorry, we'll show you soon. But she's awesome. And we have another exclusive here. It's our Legacy TIE Fighter. So last time we had this was 2009, but some really great updates. First time it's available where we've had the big wing TIE in vintage packaging, which is amazing. It's still got its great removable cockpit and pilot, but we also put a really cool new menacing gunmetal gray deco scheme to this too. So you've seen TIEs in different colors. This is the first time that we've done that. So the quintessential TIE in 3 3/4 inch scale, now available again in vintage with this great deco scheme. All right, so 2018, I think we had a pretty strong year. You can see here that we've got 20 carded figures and 2 vehicles, and we're only getting started. So Steve, what do you think of 2019?
That is not enough. That is not enough.
Okay.
That is not enough. In 19, as we start to build 19, we're going to start doing this a little bit more often, where we're kind of filling in the gaps and allowing these sort of graphics for you to kind of go, oh, that's coming when, they're here, and then sort of help you kind of plan ahead. And as you can see, as we start to build out spring, we've got a few in there. We've got Samurai, we've got Klaatu, Barge, your new Barge, with a very rare yak face. And you can see all the TVA. So already we've got more in spring in 19 than we have in 18. Now the big caveat in us doing this, that things can change. Numbers can go up, they can also go down. But we're going to be very open, and we're going to start charting these figures as we release them. So you'll see this fill in as the conventions, the tour of the year kind of goes through. So let's kind of fill some of these, I think. As you know, we do repacks. We bring in characters that people find hard to get or are short packed and bring them into the vintage line who have never been in. So let's welcome a few ones we've seen before, but into the vintage collection. The first one I'm sure you'll be pleased to see because I know he was short packed like crazy, running out of breath. Let's have some Scarif Stormtroopers. He's really hard to get, fan favourite, so he'll be hitting the vintage collection. We're going to be bringing in the Elite Praetorian Guard. Really, really cool figure. The next one,
Yeah, Revan. Let's do Revan. Why don't we bring him into the vintage collection? Why don't we start? Let's have some legend stuff going on. I'm really interested to see what the pack is going to be on this one. This is going to be really interesting. So loads and loads and loads to talk about.
The only reason this collection is back is because of these guys, right? So maybe let's stop doing the reveals. Maybe we can give them a chance.
Yeah, all right, okay.
Yeah, you guys want to reveal some vintage figures? All right, okay. Let's do this.
Yeah, no, you really are going to reveal the vintage figures, like the Oscars.
Who absolutely loves the vintage collection?
Woo! All right, I'm gonna do the first one. First one, okay. Who do you think owns red? Who would you put on a red card?
He doesn't like vintage.
Do you really like the vintage collection? He's a 501st too.
Get the first look. Hold up.
You're a stormtrooper!
Hold it up.
Yeah. So Steve, tell us why. Yeah, so the Stormtrooper, you need a great Stormtrooper, right? So we have taken all the best Stormtrooper pieces and put them together to form the ultimate Stormtrooper. This is, we were told, the 5 POA head on the Stormtrooper was the best Stormtrooper helmet we've ever done. So we took that, we added it to a vintage or a body that was originally from the Midnight Trooper, and we put that together. And this is actually a Rogue One, excellent. It's the best Stormtrooper we've ever done, put together in a Rogue One package.
Cool.
Next one. Let's go blue, guys.
Another guest who has seen Solo. I think we need another Solo figure here.
All right. Here we go. Hope she knows one of the other blokes. So, love a chance to get the Donald Glover version of Lando into the vintage collection. You may wonder, like that expression, you see that a lot on his face. Yeah, every single bit of reference we got from Lucasfilm, he has that expression on his face. So that's what we did. Last one. You got another one? This one's for the old school. Old school.
Death Star Gunner.
Nice. Death Star Gunner. About time. Yeah, Death Star Gunner, really cool. So, when they did Rogue One, they did several new Death Star Gunners, some variants of their costumes. So we took some of the best reference that we got with with Rogue One being a newer movie. We had lots of really good new reference, and so we created this version of the Death Star Gunner that has never been seen before. So this will be a Rogue One version of the Death Star Gunner. Very cool. So there we have. We've started to fill out 2019. We're going to do more as we move through the year. There's some crazy ones coming, all right? There's some really, really crazy ones coming. But again, caveat, might go up, might go down. Don't pin me in the corner of the room and say, you said it was gonna be 22. So more to reveal as we move along. But there's just two more words to say as we finish out the vintage for this convention, and that is two very simple words, and that is photo real. I sound like you. Photo real is coming to the vintage collection at last. We have managed to get the process down from the 6-inch figures down to 3 3/4, so we can get that really super accurate down that small scale. It's going to look amazing. So keep an eye for that. That's going to start rolling out beginning of 2019. Okay.
Absolutely great. All right. A few last things we wanted to chat about with y'all. So first is Pulse. So if you're familiar with Pulse, great. Basically, this is Hasbro's communication vehicle with our most passionate and engaged fans, which is you all you wonderful people. We've been doing more on Pulse as a Star Wars team in recent months, more content there. We did a fan unboxing contest. Basically, we did a contest for an unboxing video, and we flew a fan out to Rhode Island to unbox, again, for the very first time, an item. It was super cool, super fun. We're doing more user-generated content, and we have more stuff coming down the pipe in the fall. So if you don't tune into Pulse, tune in. You don't want to miss out on all the cool stuff coming there. So that's that. We also want to talk about distribution. So first of all, I just love that. I know, I hear it. Oh, what's he going to say? First of all, love that image. Basically, I just Googled Star Wars and distribution, and that's what came up. So I guess those are very well-distributed troopers, but that's the age we live in. Basically, we want to have a frank and open conversation with you, as we always do. And distribution is no different. So first thing I wanted to say is just, we hear you. Like, we do listen to you 100%. down in the booth, you know, we connect with you online, different forums, different fan sites. We know that distribution is a pain point. We're certainly not denying that, and it's something that we literally have conversations and meetings, and we're working hard behind the scenes to try to solve that out, because we know it's not where we want it to be. We talk about how it's very simple, like, you guys want these items, we want you to have them. We are 100% on the same page, and we're just trying to clear those roadblocks. So that's the first thing, is just know that we're absolutely on your side. It's our side as well. Two specific things we just wanted to chat about. One is that it does take some time. When a distribution issue arises, I'm reminded of kind of when we talked about Old Man Luke. You know, it takes 12 to 18 months to do a figure, and it takes sometimes as long or a little shorter to solve up some of these issues, just because things are already planned out. So when an issue arises, definitely let us know. We'll work to solving it. It just might take a while, so just be patient with us. One specific granular thing we wanted to share is that we've heard that distribution issues can arise because we just have too many waves, and we have too many repacks within a wave. And that kind of arose out of our desire to provide more news and excitement more frequently. If we have 6 waves throughout a year, there's more pulse points. But we've heard that just retailers aren't able to get to all of those waves. So starting in 2019, with some of these items we've already revealed, we're moving to less waves and more new figures in a wave, meaning less repacks. So that is, I'm seeing thumbs up, that is absolutely something that's going to happen. You will see that. Again, it won't be until 2019 because it takes a little while, so be patient for that. That's one specific thing. We've got more things coming, but we are working on it. So wanted to have that little chat. Yeah. Look at this slide. So my friend Steve mentioned earlier something about prequel figures. We're not going to reveal any of those today, but that they would be revealed at other conventions down the line. Now, you might have thought that was New York Comic Con, and we'll absolutely have reveals there. We've done that in the past. But again, we know we have passionate fans around the world. So for the very first time, we're taking this show on the road. Look at that, Unboxing Toy Convention. That's down 2 weeks from now in Mexico City, and we actually have our Mexico team here in the crowd. Where are you guys? Back there, yeah! We've got Fan Expo up in Canada. Our Canada team's here too. Where's Canada? Yeah! We will be, for the first time, making exclusive reveals in 6-inch figures and vintage figures at those conventions. So, you know, hop right now on Kayak on your phone, book a flight down to Mexico City. Party with us down there, it'll be great. Go up to Canada. We'll be doing more conventions throughout the year. So that's our desire to connect with fans around the world and bring those reveals. So either tune in person or on social media, but we'll be having some more exciting news there. That's it. We have moved at a fantastic pace. Our goal was 40 minutes, and we pretty much hit it right on. So we've got 20 minutes for Q&A. Again, we want to have this open conversation. We want to hear from you, and so this is the time to do it. So I think we want to just line up at the microphones.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, I'm seeing a thumbs up from the man who knows. So just line up at the microphones back there. Let's get in line. And
if this kid asks where's my badge, only
4:50, right? 10 minutes, absolutely. 4:50, wait, that's 3 hours.
Plenty of time.
We have 10 minutes.
Oh yeah. Yes, sir.
So I am beyond excited to see the reiterated 6-inch figure reveals. I've been waiting for that since I saw Solo. I didn't see the exact date though. Do you have anything that reveals even in this quarter?
Absolutely, yeah, we can share. So again, this is part of that open conversation. I think in the past we've said like, oh, later this fall, maybe next year. We want to be more transparent. He's currently planned for our December 1st wave. And that's kind of the on-shelf date. We plan to, you know, they can be a little earlier, a little later. And as Steve said about the vintage, like, it's all subject to change, but that's the current plan, is December 1st.
Do you know the price point?
He'll be in our $20 assortment.
Thank you.
Absolutely, thank you.
What do you want? What is this?
I have a question for the Solo movie figures.
Yeah.
Where's Han Solo and Chewie?
Han Solo and Chewie in Black Series or in Vintage or in
Black Series.
Black Series? So they should be out in stores. So Han Solo was released in Black Series, so.
Okay.
Get your mom and dad to buy you some, I'm not giving you. The Chewbacca, by the way, was a Target exclusive. So you get Chewbacca at Target.
Hi, I'm really excited about Afro in the vintage collection. Are there any more plans to do fan polls like that in the future?
Yeah, so it's certainly something that we've done in the past. This year, basically, because we did HasLab, because we did the barge, we kind of saw that as the vehicle, but we are certainly not close to them in the future. It's definitely something we plan and would like to do.
Do you guys enjoy fan polls? Yeah? All right.
We know that there are challenges with fan polls, so again, we had that conversation.
We're always trying to find new ways of kind of getting to the grassroots of what's needed, and you know, the sort of more unusual things. There's so many. Star Wars is full of thousands and thousands of characters, so it's important that we pick the right one. So look for more innovative ways of connecting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dave, what happened to you, man?
Well, you know, not every superhero wins it.
Oh.
You should see the other guy.
Okay.
But
this is what you get when you ask about distribution.
Clone Wars announced yesterday. Plans for Clone Wars, boys?
Absolutely.
We're gonna help say Clone Wars 2. Yeah, when we heard that, we didn't hear it. We heard it pretty recently. It's very exciting. There's some. Come and see us downstairs and tell us your top list. So I want to start kind of putting stuff at the top and getting some things through, working with our good friends up down there. I know they love it too, don't you, Chris? Love a bit of Clone Wars. Mason? Yeah. There's pieces. We did. Love that, right?
What's up, buddy?
Are you gonna make any more vehicles like the sailboats?
I don't know about like the sail barge, but yes, yeah, of course, we're going to keep making vehicles, absolutely. What vehicle do you want to see?
All of us! Even the young ones want it.
You must have a huge room.
That will be his room. All right. All right. He's on the payroll.
Yeah.
They're on the payroll. It's brilliant. Fantastic. Next one.
Yes, sir.
How did you get the idea to make the sail barge? Because that's like one of my favorite scenes in all of Star Wars, and I'm super glad you picked it. But do you know like why you picked it?
I think we picked it because you've been asking us for 40 years to make it.
Best question of the day. Steve loves the sail barge. He has been talking ever. So he is very excited to get that question. Yeah.
All right, thank you guys.
We're going to fill 10 minutes.
That's brilliant.
Okay, so I've already beaten to the Clone Wars question. So instead I'll just ask about Rebels. So you said that you mentioned that you plan on completing the Ghost Crew, so does that mean we'll see a 7th feature and if possible maybe variations of Ezra or Kanan?
Do you like Zeb? Yeah. Everybody like Zeb?
Yeah. So I'm just going to say, we cannot announce any more reveals today. As usual, we can't say until it's revealed, but if we ever do Zeb, it'll be a very exciting reveal.
In that case, no, we're never doing Zeb as
Our PR team is out there somewhere with sniper rifles trained on it, so.
A little red dot on it.
Yeah.
Thanks for your question. Almost as cute as the ones before.
Question about, there's a couple of exclusives right now at Toys R Us that's only in Canada because we're closed. So the Stormtrooper 6-inch and the 5-pack of Maz Kanata that's holographic, are those going to be available in the United States or do we have to go on eBay?
Yeah, we're working on getting those out. Yeah, obviously, unfortunately, the Toys R Us thing threw us for a loop, but they are going to be distributed in the U.S. We're just working on plans now, but stay tuned.
And Cleet Lars from Attack of the Clones, 3 3/4 inch, would be great to have him as a figure.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to draft off that holographic Maz question because I'm a huge 3 3/4 guy and I love The Last Jedi. And there's some conspicuous holes in regards to characters and creatures. So any chance for 3 3/4 Holdo, caretakers, and crystal foxes? The Last Jedi hits them up.
Well, there are some conspicuous gaps in The Last Jedi. I know when we had Force Awakens, there were certain things that the storytellers want to keep a secret. You know, when we had Force Awakens as Luke, you know, Luke in his Jedi Master. So the good thing, as I said before, that Star Wars never goes away. So we have a movie kind of every year. We've got a little bit of a gap now between here and F9. So I think you may see some interesting stuff. Maybe not those exactly, but it takes a while sometimes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey guys, thanks for coming out. Question about, more in general, just about HasLabs. So, you successfully completed the skip. Awesome, that comes from scale mark. So, what's the plan? Period. You know, how often will something from HasLabs be coming out? And would you consider a 6-inch item for HasLabs as well, or is it specifically the same with 3 and 3/4?
I think anything's on the table, and we are absolutely going to continue HasLab and absolutely have a Star Wars offering for HasLab. We're not going to say anything about it right now, but it is in the works for sure. As are other brands from Hasbro too. So Marvel, Transformers, anything that we do that's got a fan base. The success that we've shown with the barge really opens the door for a lot of incredible things. So you let us know what you want to see, except a Death Star. That's probably not going to happen.
That just feels like it.
Modular Death Star.
Yep. Yeah. It really, HasLab is a great chance for us as designers to think big and to do things that we consider outrageous, and it gives us a chance to really start to explore that area, because now we've opened the door to this sort of way to deliver a great product in a new way.
Yeah. So thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Any chance we could get a reissue of the Black Series R2-D2, preferably without the mold lines on the head, please?
So we recently announced a line called Black Series Archive, but I mean that's absolutely the vehicle to get those classic figures out there. In terms of kind of adjusting it without the lines, the vines, that's we'll consider that. But yeah, Archive is the place to see this.
Love the Jaina Solo Black Series figure. Just wondering if there's any plans or anything going on in the background to get more Legends figures in there. I'd love to see Shadows of the Empire.
I think it's all kind of about balance and things like that. So when we know that a character is kind of super popular, we'll certainly take a look at it. Nothing's really off the table. We obviously have certain focuses. You're not going to see like a whole range of Legends figures sort of coming out with everything else. But you know, the fact that we're kind of doing Revenant 3 and 3/4, and we did Jaina, and we have the fan votes. You know, we keep a close eye on things. So nothing really is off the table. It's just a discussion between Lucasfilm and ourselves to make sure that we're doing the right things at the right time. So nothing is a no. No, that's a stock answer, but there we go.
Can Patrick do a Darth Vader impression?
He's been doing it for 40 minutes. I'm getting
All right.
Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father, did he?
The only reason I took this job is an extended audition for Darth Vader someday.
I have a similar question, but my question actually comes out of the fact that the books, the comics are all now canon. There's a ton of great comic book characters coming out from Marvel. Are we going to start seeing even those characters come out?
Yeah, so I think this is the same answer as what Steve just said. Absolutely, it's all fantastic content, and like with Afro, we're bringing some of those into the line. We just always try to find the balance of, especially with Black Series, it's just still so new, and there's, you know, we're just releasing Leia Hoth, for example, this fall. So getting those main characters, getting the niche characters, comics, entertainment, absolutely. So nothing's off the table.
Yeah, and especially the comic characters are a nice chance for us to do some new things that we haven't done before. With the Jaina Solo, we were able to do a really interesting figure that we wouldn't normally be able to do in the line, and because we can take some leaps and try some new things. So we're open to that. We like those types of characters.
Absolutely. I think we have 2 minutes left, and we want to be good partners, so maybe 2 more questions. And we have 2 more people. This is perfect. Oh, sorry.
So I'm a Canadian collector, so we still have Toys R Us, sorry guys. So I'm really excited that you guys are coming to Fan Expo. But what about the distribution with Toys R Us exclusives? I saw Phasma on the shelves a couple days ago, but are we going to get that Zuckus as a Disney Store exclusive, or is it going to be a Toys R Us exclusive?
I'm not quite sure yet what we're going to wind up doing in Canada, unless our Canadian friends know. You'll absolutely get Zuckus, whether or not it'll be at TRU or through Disney stores. I think we're still kind of figuring out what that'll be, but just stay tuned. We'll get it to you.
Come to Fan Expo.
Hello.
Are you gonna make Dr. Afran in 6-inch?
It's an interesting idea. I mean, again, my PR friends are out there with their sniper rifles, so can't say anything until it's revealed. But again, if we revealed that, that would be very exciting.
Hey there, I heard a rumor that the holographic Maz Kanata set would be going live on an online retailer at 2 p.m. today. Is that true?
Adam Paul is from Entertainment Earth, everyone.
Price just went up.
I don't know. I don't know anything about that.
Okay, I don't either, but certainly don't go to your phone to entertainmentearth.com at 2 p.m. today.
Snipers.
All right, thank you, Adam. 150 on the dot. You guys have been fantastic again, as we've said this whole time. It's all about you all. This is your line. Thank you so much.
Have a good week, everybody. We'll talk toys.